long time no talk. We're both very busy this weekend, so we haven't chatted that much.
We're busy.
So I did have something to get off my chest and talk to the people of the pod about right
Okay.
out of the gate.
All right. I'm ready. I'm ready.
So I was in New York last week and we went to dinner.
Yeah.
And we had a little tiff.
We did. We did.
And I talked to a few friends about the tiff.
Yeah.
And what I've realized is that I'm wrong and you're right. Shall we discuss what the tiff was about?
I mean, we could have just done this privately, but okay.
I think it's helpful for parents that are like, I think there's a lot of families that go through similar things. So I do think it's helpful.
I'm glad. I was talking with, my girlfriend about it. And she was like, I understand. So it was good. We're starting off strong. I wasn't ready. Okay, let's go.
So I'll start with just setting up the basic facts. So I
Yeah.
saw you and you said, hey, I'm going on a road trip. We're going to a wedding and we're driving in a Tesla
Mhm.
10 hours one way.
Both
And
ways.
well, isn't it 10 hours down and 10 hours back?
Yeah, 10 hours both
So
ways.
that's 10 hours one way, right? So
Oh yeah,
20 hours in the car.
20 hours total.
And so I kick into mom fix it mode. And I'm like, well, let me just book you guys flights. That makes no sense. That's ridiculous to drive 20 hours for 3 days.
Mhm.
And I'll just book you guys flights. I have 100 million flyer miles. And you got mad at me.
Well, let's remember that that was one time. And then we proceeded to have, I was like, no, it's okay. I was like, no, 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 don't worry about it. And then somehow the conversation didn't continue after. I was like, no, 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 don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then you're like, but just let me buy you flights. Like, let me get you guys flights. This is dumb. Like, why would you do that? That's ridiculous. And I was like, no, 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 like, we're okay. Like, I would never get it, through. I'd be like, no, 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 we're okay. And they'd be like, no, it's dumb. We should just buy you flights. And that went on for the evening. And then we would talk about other stuff. And then you'd be like, just why are you guys driving? Let me just look at flights. I was like, no, no, it's fine. Let's not like
And
we
then you
don't
got
need to.
mad at me and you're like, stop asking.
Yes.
So I talked to a few people about it because it really hurt my feelings because I'm like, I'm trying to do something nice.
And I felt
And the
really bad
feedback
because I
that
did
I
feel
got
that.
was, he told you no once. It doesn't matter that you're trying to do something nice. Don't try to fix everything.
Yes. And I do appreciate you trying to fix everything. I do love that. And I felt really bad because I did kind of blow up and I felt that was very rude. But it was like, I mean, I said that at the dinner. It kind of awoke a little insecurity in me where it was like, I can do it. Like I've planned it. I've gone through everything. Like we were dropping my girlfriend's dog off. We had a place to stay. We had mapped out the trip, all the Tesla stops. We had like mapped out the times of everything. We had it all worked out, and it just like I think the reason I kind of snapped and I really do apologize big time is because I got really insecure. I was like, I can do this. I've worked on it.
Why does
And
she try to step in and fix everything?
it's like I love when you step in
I
and
think
because
you're
you
right,
save me all
honey.
the time.
I do think you're right about this.
Yeah, and I you save me all the time, and I'm always and that's where I felt really bad is I was like I'm not looking at my insecurity stopped me from seeing that you were trying to be helpful, and you're always very helpful, and you save my life every day basically. And so I was kind of I felt really guilty about getting mad at you and being kind of like blindsided by just my insecurity. But
But I'm
yeah,
going to defend you a little bit because I've got to learn how to take no for an answer the first, I don't know, let's say the first three times. Give
yeah.
me a one, two, three, like
The amount of this will be great. The amount of times that you'll be like, why don't we just try something? And like as a kid, I definitely I was realizing it on the drive. I'm very like safe. I like
you're
to do.
cautious.
I'm
You are
very
very
cautious.
cautious.
I like to pretend that I'm really brave, but I'm a very cautious person. I'm a little anxious Hanny. And when I was like a little kid, you were very good at pushing me to try new things, and I think it's helped me a lot. And like I definitely have ways to be less anxious. I've worked on it a lot, and you've helped with that a lot. But as an adult, there's been times where you've been like, try this. And I'm like, I have tried it. I don't like that thing. You
And
know what
I
I mean?
just will not listen because I'm like,
And
but try it with me. Yeah,
yeah,
I think one, I'm definitely more adventurous than you. Like I've been skydiving, I've been parasailing, I've been hang gliding, I've been swimming with sharks,
I've been paragliding, I've been indoor skydiving, I've swam with sharks, I've rock climbed, I've done night hikes. I'm also very adventurous.
in a more cautious way.
I'm very cautious about like I can kind of throw my hair into the wind with like stuff that is actually I get very cautious about life
Decisions
and
and
decisions
do I
that I'm
do
like,
this or do I do this? Right.
yeah. Like I was joking yesterday, I was getting ready to go. It was a friend's birthday and I had trivia before the birthday and then I was gonna go out and meet
You
them.
host trivia. You host trivia,
I
which
hosted
is very
trivia.
fun.
I
Yeah.
hosted trivia at Amity Hall downtown. If anybody's in New York, it's in West Village, who cares? Don't need to do an ad. The bar can do the ads, I guess. But um, we, I guess I should do an ad. Come and say that I brought you. You know, get me more
Yeah.
money.
Come to trivia. What is it again? Where is the place again?
Amity Hall downtown
In
in
New
the
York
West
City.
Village in New
Okay.
York
There you
City.
go on Wednesday nights.
But I was getting ready, and I like to, you know, at least be presentable. I've been working because like I was working at the gym for so long, and like I wore uniforms in school, and so like you know I have a good fashion sense, but sometimes I'm a little bit like what best fits me and I'm good look, blah, blah. And it's summer, so it's hot, so you got to plan for it being hot. So you got to plan like what kind of I got to be like, okay, I'm gonna wear a fanny pack. What's good with a fanny pack? And as you can see, the anxiety starts to roll in as I'm just like getting ready, and I'm like, it's
Too
hot.
many decisions to be made. So
Exactly,
many.
exactly. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it. But I'm just going to work on listening to you the first time, obviously. But I'd also like for you to work on understanding where I'm coming from. Because sometimes I really am just coming from a place of worry. Like I worry about you driving for 20 hours. I worry about the Tesla not being able to charge. I worry about problems. So I
yeah,
feel like you could also be more patient with mom's worry. Like
yeah,
if I had a switch I could turn off, honey, I would. But I think every parent out there can really relate to this. We just worry for our kids because we love you so much, and you're our responsibility in life. So I think I'll try to be better about listening to you the first, second, or third time. Remember when you were little, I would always put you in timeout. I'd be like, "That's one," and if you
oh,
kept
the countdown.
misbehaving, you could get to three, and then I would put you in timeout. So I'm going to give myself that same grace here, and you can put me in timeout if I don't stop badgering you after three offers to help you.
We will try. We will definitely try. We're coming up on 29 years of attempts.
Hey, we are not quitters. We are going to try to keep getting this right.
We're not quitters. I made a joke, but no, it's not even a joke. I was talking to um, an old boss, and we were kind of talking about because I was the person training world, and I left, and he's like, "Yeah, you just really wouldn't quit." Like we had to like talk about like I had to pretty much be like, "Okay, it's time for like you can go. I know you don't want to be here." And I was like, "I just don't like to quit jobs. I would rather." And I wasn't like fired in any bad way, but it was it was a mutual decision. But I was like, the not quitting thing to a toxic degree. Not even toxic, but to like
But
I was
like
just
not
like,
quitting even when maybe you probably should quit something. I know I'm bad at
yeah.
that too though, because I was taught like we never quit. I'll like drag myself through a wall till I do something to quit.
But sometimes it's like a good idea to quit. It's like
Like, you know
some
what?
stuff.
I've given this all I have to give.
Yeah,
I'm gonna move on.
yeah. And instead of looking at it as like a negative thing, looking at it as moving on. That's huge.
So I had a
Yes,
fun week. You went to a wedding with your friends
I
and
did, and I
um
was. Oh, you can tell the story, but you called me the day after the wedding with some devastating news. Devastating on
what
something that
was the
I
devastating?
missed out on.
Oh, I don't know if I wanted to tell that for the podcast. I wanted to be discreet.
Fine, we can be discreet, but all I can say is there was we can say this: the Indiana. Liberty, the
Indiana
Indiana
Fever played at the
Fever.
New York Liberty.
Yes. So the Liberty opening game. I'm a huge Liberty fan. Oh, I need to text that back. I'm a huge Liberty fan, and it was the season opener for New York, and I hope that Fran and Becca know how much I love them because I could have gone, and I went to
You
their wedding
missed the New
instead.
York Liberty season opener for your friend's wedding.
Yes, I did, and I love them so much. I'm so glad I did that. That's one of my wedding gifts to them
Was missing the Liberty New York
because
game. It
I
became
wanted to
the
go so bad.
highest viewed WNBA game in history.
I know.
It was a scene. It was a place to be. There were all these different celebrities. Billie Jean King gave me a big hug and told me I'm doing a great job. So to me, that might be the highest form of compliment I could ever receive. That Billie Jean King, who is the advocate and voice for women in our country,
One of.
is proud of me. That actually really means something to me.
That's pretty amazing. I'm surprised at how many times I've met her.
Yeah, we see her a lot, and she's so cute, and her wife is so cute too. Her wife is always just like,
amazing.
"Hi, Billy's right here. She'd love to say hello." Like they're just such a lovely, lovely couple. So
yeah, they're amazing. It's like part of me feels really. I get a little cocky. I'm like, God, I've met Billie Jean King like 5 or 6 times. What up?
I love that. Well, the game was amazing. The atmosphere was electric. I mean, I really think that the Liberty put on, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe the Aces are right up in there because they get some good celebrities too. But I'm going to just say the Liberty home games might be the most lit, fun, exciting atmosphere in all of the WNBA right now. Yeah. It was the highest grossing, like they got the most revenue of any tickets sold in the history of the WNBA on that game. So
I love it.
I love it. Part of it's Caitlin Clark effect because everywhere she goes, they're selling out arenas. She just played at the Seattle Storm this week. They had their highest attendance. Like this kind of blew my mind. Even like Sue Bird's last game and that their championship runs and all of those things.
That was a big game, though. That was a big game.
This was the highest attendance in the history of the Seattle Storm. Caitlin Clark at Seattle. So I don't know. It's just really cool. It just continues to be amazing. The W is rocking.
I love Caitlin.
Toronto just got awarded a new team today. Toronto. Oh, yeah.
I saw that. Toronto's getting a new team. Drake must be happy to have some good news.
He was there.
He was there.
Drake came to the announcement. Now I'm on Drake's side forevermore because he is showing up for the women of the W. He's going to be part of that team and be I know he'll just be a great advocate for them because he has been great with women and women's basketball.
Yeah. And you know what, honestly, I support anybody who is really good at their job and succeeds and then uses that wealth for other people. So as long as it's a good, I hope he's a good person.
But I hope he's a good person. I will say there's 2 awkward things that we should tell our listeners about. Some people watch this on YouTube, some people listen to it. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, if you're wondering what's wrong with me.
I wasn't even going to say anything about that.
You weren't going to say anything? Okay. So I don't have any makeup on this eye. I do have a little bit of makeup on this eye because I had eye surgery.
Because finally, I've been begging you to go to an eye doctor for years.
I know. I finally broke down and went because I couldn't see anything, and I would be like texting with my phone 1 inch from my face, and everybody would tease me.
Yeah, it got to the point where it was like a running joke with everybody. Anytime she was going to text, just right here,
the phone would be like as close to my nose as humanly possible. So, but turns out had a cataract. So you guys have been mocking a disabled person. I was legally blind in that eye. So just so you know, you shouldn't tease people who have physical challenges.
You can tease people who refuse to get help.
I did go and get help. Part of it's finally just having time. It's hard to fit in appointments. But anyway, I had time, got it fixed. It's doing much better. But I did just get home to Utah, and I wanted to show the listeners and tell the listeners what I got for Mother's Day. And I think it's so read that out loud, son.
Being your favorite child seems like gift enough, but here's a candle.
So you got me a candle for Mother's Day.
I did.
It's very cute.
And I
And
thought
it's
you'd
very
like that
funny.
joke. I thought like we were talking about with the meaningful. I was like, oh, this is exactly our sense of humor.
Yes, I loved it. It was very cute. So thank you,
Good,
honey. I appreciate that.
good. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad. And then we had a great Mother's Day. Well, we had the beginning of a good dinner, but then our food took an hour. And so,
Yeah.
but I ate that steak later, the steak au poivre.
Oh, was it good?
Oh,
They left the au poivre stuff in my, you left the au poivre stuff in my bag though. So I
for
don't
the
know if it was good
sauce.
enough for you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but the steak itself was, shout out to, what was that place called? Bobo
Bobo in the,
in the West Village.
in,
Oh,
in West Village. Yeah, it
it
was
was
very good.
delicious. A little Parisian spot. Oh, it was so good.
Okay, so the only other awkward thing I wanted to talk about before we get into our topics is you are doing the podcast in a very cute shirt. I love this color on you. I
Thank
think
you.
I
It
bought
has
this
a little
shirt for
stain
you.
on it. Are you gonna get mad at the little stain?
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
going to say, do you come on a podcast with a big stain on your shirt,
I
or
didn't. I forgot
because
that.
it's a podcast, nobody knows?
Well, I was rushing to because I had to get my setup set back up because we used some of the equipment because I shot a short film for a short film competition. Haven't heard back, but we'll see how that goes. So I was kind of in a rush, and I just like tossed this shirt on this morning, because I thought it looked good with my outfit, or whatever. And then I was rushing around trying to put stuff together, get a nice little thing of water, did a little workout, all kinds of stuff. And then we started the podcast, and I saw it in the video here, and I was like, oh no, I'm staying on this shirt, and it's a stain that I can't get out, and it looks to be it looks like it's blood, which is weird.
Coffee. I think that there's all kinds of hacks on the internet right now. You should definitely do some of the.
I've
I look at the
tried
Instagram hacks for stain removal.
I've tried a couple, and the issue is the last one I tried made the shirt lighter around the stain.
Oh,
And then, yeah, this isn't great podcast, but
I don't know. Stain removal might be helpful for a lot of parents and kids out there.
ooh,
Okay,
also,
let's get
I
on
just
to our
want to
topics. Let's get on
real
to our
quick
chaos theory topics.
before we do that, I just want to say because I'm very proud of it. So we went and stayed with one of my girlfriend's friends in Winston Salem. You know Winston Salem very well,
Yes.
and her friend is half Filipino. She's half My girlfriend's half Filipino, and she's been kind of like teaching me some Filipino dishes that her mom would make her. And I'm actually getting pretty good at making Filipino food, and it is delicious. I made this thing called adobo yesterday, and my roommates also have Filipino. I'm surrounded by Filipinos in my life. If there's anything that I have a lot of in my life, it's Filipinos and women, because I have a bunch of friends that are women. I have you, I have all your friends. It's just knee deep. But I made the adobo, and it was actually really good. I messed up. I didn't have the bone-in chicken, but it was really good, and it was Filipino approved. And I'm so excited.
Wow, you're becoming a
It's-
cook.
yes, I'm becoming a cook. I would say, okay, between the two of us, I think
You're
I'm
not
the
a better
cook.
cook than me.
I'm a better cook.
No possible way. You
I
wouldn't know
think
how
so.
to bake cookies to save your life.
There's instructions on the thing, and I've made us cookies before. Thank you very much. I think I'm the better cook.
Well, that segues very well into some of my topics for today.
Okay.
Are you ready for the chaos theory topics?
I'm ready for the chaos theory.
Okay.
I get to grab a hat. I'll just wish them around.
I'm still going with my Indiana Fever hat till they get a win. I'm trying to give them some good mojo till they can get a win.
Oh my god! Watching Brianna hit Caitlin with that what's it called? That block, or no, with that pick. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, she hit her with the screen pretty hard.
Screen, thank you.
Yeah, Stewie looks phenomenal, by the way. The New York Liberty
She's
looked
been
really good.
killing.
All 5 starters looked amazing. Jonquel Jones looked amazing.
Yeah,
Sabrina.
she got like 2,000. What did she get? 2,000 rebounds.
Rebounds. Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah. So they're doing great. Okay, so my first topic, and I'm going to let you decide on which one. I like both of these topics.
Just pick one. Just pick one. We can't decide on it. You just got to wish it around and then pick it up. What is it? Etiquette. We're going to talk about etiquette.
So why I wanted to talk about etiquette is you were going to a wedding.
Yeah.
And we started talking about this of, do you know you have to bring a wedding gift? And do you know how couples register for weddings? And so I started wondering about etiquette and how parents teach their kids the etiquette of life. And it is something that I've tried to do very well with you, but I wondered, did you take them a present? Did you register on their
They're registered. There was
registry?
a honeymoon fund, so we donated to the honeymoon fund.
Okay, but you did do a gift.
Yes, we did. And then we took a card as well.
Okay, so when you were young, I made you go to an etiquette class. Do you
You
remember
did.
this class? You were about 12 years old. Tell the
Okay.
people what I forced you to do.
So, oh my, you know what? I'm glad you brought this. Let's get into it. You made me go to an etiquette class, and I remember at the graduation, the teacher literally told me, "I don't know why me and my cousin Rachel had to be in this etiquette class. My cousin Rachel is like my older sister. We're very close. You made us take this effing. We bleep things out on this, right?
Don't say the F word around the etiquette discussion. Let's just agree to that.
Okay, okay, okay. You can thank Doris Burke for want to use the F word right now. And shout out Doris, love you. I haven't seen her in forever. We gotta get together. What was I saying? You made us go to this GD etiquette class it was like one night a week for like 4 weeks or something like that. It was like a little hour and a half, 2 hours. And we knew all of this stuff. We already knew. I remember being so flabbergasted. And then the kids that were in the class were insane. And they probably had some sort of whatever, but they were insane. They were the most annoying kids I've ever met. And me and Rachel were just sitting there like, why are we here? And at the end of the class, we were at Sizzler, which I don't think even exists anymore. But we were at
It was a great
Sizzler.
steakhouse with a great salad bar back in the day.
Hey, Sizzler, anything with a buffet.
R.I.P. Sizzler.
R.I.P. They had a great salad bar. But I don't know if they're still around. I'll be a sponsor. We'll shell for Sizzler. But I remember we finished our meal at Sizzler, and it was like a test of all of the stuff you learned: dinner etiquette, where to put your fork, where to put your knife, all that stuff. And I remember the teacher, when she gave me my little certificate, she was like, "I don't know why you guys had to take this class. You guys are great."
Because it always bothers me when I'm out and about in public and I see poorly behaved kids. Like, I never wanted to be the mom that my kid didn't know the etiquette or was poorly behaved, or people were like, "Oh my gosh, that kid's such a bad kid."
I was a great kid.
You were, but I wanted you to know etiquette. And I do think you have exceptional manners now. And I just wanted to think, for people who are listening, how important is etiquette in your upbringing and how you are now as an adult?
How's it? I mean, I don't. I feel like it's just kind of common sense. I do think there's been an issue when it comes to etiquette post COVID. I think everybody was trapped alone in their houses, and then we get back out into the world, and TikTok and Instagram makes everybody think they're the most important person in the world, and everybody thinks that the world revolves around them. So they treat people who are working for them or around them like absolute garbage. And like, I think that like social etiquette has kind of declined. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I'll say this. I was in the very nice, brand new LaGuardia, shout out Delta, in the new Delta Lounge in LaGuardia Airport in New York City. And, we'll get our food. I go and I sit down and I walk past a man who's sitting in a chair, and there's a little coffee table in front of him. And he has his feet up on the coffee table in the Delta Lounge, barefoot.
It's disgusting. Why would you even want to be barefoot in a public place? It's disgusting.
It's an excellent question.
It's okay. It's gotten really hot in New York, and I just abhor when people wear open-toed shoes in New York City.
It's gross, right?
It's
dirty.
Disgusting. Wear them in your house. Have some house slippers, but don't walk around these streets with your dirty ass feet. And nice for what?
That's my ringtone. Sorry. Shout out Drake. That is my ringtone.
You love Drake, but
I do.
Yeah. Anyways, etiquette. That's a little bit of a dry topic. I don't know if I love that one.
You don't love that one?
It's boring. It's you just sound like old fogies. Just, people aren't as nice as they used to be. I miss decorum. Silence your phone. We are doing a podcast.
I might need to take this call really quick though, honey. Can we wait for one? Can we pause for 1 sec, guys?
Let's finish this and take the call afterwards.
Okay. Well, it's about a biopsy I had. It could be melanoma
I
related.
I know, but the biopsy will be there. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna be great.
Okay. Okay. My next topic, or
Wait,
do
wait,
you have
wait. I get to
topics?
go. I get to go.
Okay, go
Because
ahead.
that topic was a drip. No offense.
Boring.
I've gotten really obsessed with saying something's a drip. Like
A
somebody's a
drip,
drip. Yeah.
DRIP,
Yeah, they're not bad. It's like not that bad, but it's kind of annoying. A
because
drip.
it's like a slow
Just a eh. It's
drip.
just it bothers me. I just I love it. It's my phrase of the month. My phrase for
Okay.
June. Instead of saying somebody's like an a-hole or a jerk or something, they're a drip.
All right. So my etiquette topic was a drip.
It's
Fine.
okay. It's
Fine.
okay.
There it is.
It's
Go.
okay.
It's
But
destroyed.
hey, I love
Done.
you. You're still great.
I know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
What's
checking.
yours?
Well, mine's great. So I wanted to talk about I can you read this? My handwriting's atrocious when I try to write fast.
Bad
Bad Boys
Boys.
slash Heroes. So I was watching there's a new Bad Boys coming out the weekend of my birthday, of course. And they planned it like that. And I was watching one of the old ones and the one that came out last, Bad Boys for Life, awesome. And I was it's Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and I was thinking about how like Will Smith was like such a big hero to me. So I wanted to talk about like our heroes when we were younger, and then like how they've held up, and do we still kind of hold them as heroes, and like what our journey has been with them.
I really love that. So, yes, you have loved Will Smith since you were a little tiny kid.
Yeah, obsessed,
Men in
obsessed.
Black came out when you were maybe 4
Three.
years old.
I think it came out in 90. I might have been two or three,
Three.
because it came out like 97, I think.
So I remember taking you to the drive-in to see Men
Mm,
in Black. Do you remember
mhm.
that?
No,
Well, you've been obsessed with Will Smith ever since,
it
since maybe
locked
you
in.
were 3 years old.
Yeah, yeah. I
So how has he
absolutely.
aged in your herodom?
Well, I think one big thing, especially this actually kind of ties into the Kate and Clark stuff. There is this kind of thing where like seeing somebody do something is very inspiring, especially if it's like seeing somebody like you do something, right? Like seeing him, especially I've become an actor and a comedian. I feel like I modeled a lot of stuff off of him, and he was very important to me. But as I've grown, I've also realized to kind of find my own path, you know? Like there's people who like inspire you, and like I definitely think a lot of my sense of humor and like mannerisms I kind of wanted to model after Will Smith, and I wanted to be Will Smith so bad. But as I've kind of gotten, I mean, I turned 29 in 3 weeks, and like as I'm kind of, I know I'm terrified and I'm not happy about it, but it's okay. I'm only having a slight midlife crisis, or I'm only freaking out a lot, but spiral. But you kind of like hit this point where you kind of have to become your own person, and you can't just emulate your hero anymore. You have to become your own hero, and that's kind of been, especially, and there's all that controversy with the slap or whatever. I don't who cares, but it like I think my biggest thing with Will Smith is like he is still a hero of mine, but I've kind of like started to get to this place where I'm like, all right, I have to, my own person has to be almost more important, if not as important.
Yeah, I think the thing with heroes is they can't be everything to you, right?
Yeah,
Because no one's perfect.
yeah.
I've had some heroes through life that are flawed individuals and are not perfect. I don't know
Like
that I
those
would
things.
say he was a hero, but growing up, I really liked Bob Knight. He was kind of this
Mm,
larger than life, scary figure. And he was a very flawed person. You know, I'm going to think of who else. I mean, there's just been people along the way, coaches. Joe Paterno was a huge hero of mine. I absolutely love Joe Paterno.
that's it. That's a
There's
perfect
a
example of,
lot to dig into if we talk about Joe
yeah,
Paterno. He was a big hero of mine growing up. But I think the older I get, the more I realize nobody's perfect. And the more you expect your heroes to be perfect, the more you'll be disappointed because
yeah.
nobody is.
Well, that's
Shaka Khan. I have loved Shaka Khan my whole life. She's my favorite vocalist, favorite vocalist. I saw her recently do a live show where she was definitely maybe struggling, maybe on a substance. I know she's had some substance use issues. She's not perfect. She's had an imperfect life. I still love Shaka Khan. She is still kind of like a legendary figure to me and someone that I think is amazing and creative and gorgeous voice,
yeah,
unique personality. So I think the more we give our heroes grace and don't expect them to be perfect, I think the more healthy it is for us.
That's so even more. I mean, at this point, we'll just call this the Will Smith episode. But you know, man, I that guy helped me through a lot of hard times, to be honest. But um, yeah, there's one movie that 7 Pounds, fine movie. There's a song in 7 Pounds by Ennio Morricone. That's how you say his name, Morricone. Um, that like that movie introduced me to that song, and that song helped me every time I was like sad. I would listen to that song. Just little stuff like that. That's a random sidebar. But with the whole thing with the slap and everything, and all that weird stuff going on the internet, whatever. One thing that it really taught me is that like seeing somebody I idolize like that do something like human made me feel better about the mistakes I've made in my life. And I think that humanizing quality, like seeing my hero be human, made them more heroic to me and made me feel better about mistakes I've made and like moving on, moving past them and growing, which I think was like something I think was really powerful about that moment.
So for people who might not
about
know, was that the Academy Awards? What was that?
Everybody knows. And I don't really want
Everybody knows that that Will Smith, after a joke that I thought was cruel and inappropriate about his wife, walked up and slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And probably should never slap anybody, definitely not publicly. That probably was unnecessary. I also thought he was defending his wife and the joke was horribly inappropriate. And I'm sure he's just so sick of people making fun of he and his family.
Yeah.
It just felt like maybe a breaking point for him if this has been building and building and building. So I would never cancel him or feel like he did something horrible. Sure, he shouldn't have done it. I also understand that feeling of I've had enough.
Yeah, there's a million times in our lives where you've snapped at somebody, you're like, but that's my biggest thing is like, it made me more I get it. I've learned to give myself grace because like, I had a hero who messed up, and I'm like, oh yeah, like even your heroes can falter or whatever, and it's okay for you to falter, not like regularly, and like not saying it's okay to just constantly be a screw up, but to kind of okay, it happens to everybody. Everybody makes a mistake. Sometimes you're not always the good guy, but to like pick yourself back up and like work on it, and figure out why you did those things, and like learn from it, as opposed to just like, oh, I'm not like, oh, I can't quite become Will Smith. He's great. He would never do something like that. I brought a kinship, but I thought it was a huge thing.
Yeah, I think heroes are important. There's a famous, back in the day, this was many years ago, but Charles Barkley kind of got everybody riled up when he's like, we're not role models, like, don't look up to me. You should have your parents should be your role models or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you don't always get to say or control who views you as a role model, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many athletes. There are so many famous athletes who I have looked up to because they're great at what they do. And you see people being excellent over and over. I mean, I could just go down this long list of people. Tamika Catchings would be one of my great ones. I just saw her at the Indiana Fever game. She is a role model to me. She has done everything so well in her life. Natalie Williams, who was with the Utah Stars back in the day, she was a 2-sport athlete at UCLA. She's a role model to me. I could sit here right now and list 100 women who have inspired me and I have looked up to for many, many years. You don't get to choose who views you as a role model when you're out in the public eye. People get inspired by you. That's just a reality.
I think that's the best part of being good at anything. I think that should be a natural windfall, is that you're going to inspire other people to do hopefully better than you did. It should be stepping stones.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had a few people. So when I was going through cancer, for our listeners who don't know, I went through stage 4 metastatic cancer and nearly died. Very, very lucky. I have my CT scans in a couple of weeks, so everything's going well. But when I was going through cancer, like, you don't really realize anything around you. But I had a couple of people come up to me after that journey. One was a female official. So she's refereeing basketball games and she's going through breast cancer and she's lost her hair. And she was trying to figure out how to referee basketball games because she's running up and down the court sweating. And could she wear a wig, or would the wig come off, or would she be sweating? And when I kind of shaved all my hair off because it was falling out, and I had the courage to go bald on national TV, which Nneka Ogwumike and Candace Parker are the ones that said, "You look beautiful, just do it, just go bald on national TV." Well, this woman said, "You gave me the courage to start just refereeing my games bald." And I'll cry talking about that, because that, like, I have no idea anybody that I'm touching with my struggle. Like, you're struggling going through cancer. I also met another young lady in Kansas. I met her at a Kansas basketball game. She was 16 years old. She had lost her hair, and she was really struggling in high school, without her hair. And so when I went bald again, that gave her courage. Like, hey, I just got to make this a fun, cool thing. So she started getting cool beanies, and she and her parents came up and really thanked me because that had helped her get through her journey. So I think to be a hero or to be a role model, it never has to be some big, huge thing or a big, significant thing. You just have to make one person out there feel better about their situation. Mm-hmm. And that's really important.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you nailed it. I think that's amazing. We can't we got nothing to follow that up with. That was a slam dunk.
Okay. Do you want one more topic, or are we done?
We can try. I mean, what are you going to pull out another? Are we going to talk about table manners? What are we doing?
Well, sort of.
Oh, no.
My next topic was
things
I should have taught you.
So annoying. You do this all the time. You taught that oh God. Okay, fine. What do you think you should have taught me?
The one thing that haunts me to this day that I didn't teach you, there's a couple of things. One, I think I could have taught you better about your financial health.
That's fair. That one I'll give you.
Right? Like budgeting, credit scores, checking accounts, how to have better financial health.
My financial literacy is not very.
And this has been on my to-do list for literally your whole life. I've never taught you how to sew on a button.
I mean, I've sewed on buttons before. That's the thing.
Have you really?
Yes, I have. There's things in life that you didn't teach me, but I know how to do. You didn't teach me how to cook. I'm a better cook than you. Still stuff.
I did teach you how to cook. I cooked with you when you were little. Like, we've cooked around our house. I feel like you've seen that and modeled that, and we've made recipes. And we used to do something when you were younger. We would do a recipe of the month, and I'd let you pick out a recipe, then would go buy all of the ingredients and cook.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, that was a bad example. You did teach me. I don't know.
And then the other thing I would always get on myself, like a song would come on. So this is an example, like Luther Vandross would come on.
You do this to this day. You're like, did I not show you enough music? And I'm like, it's fine.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, these iconic bands or iconic people will come on, the song will come on, and you'll be like, I don't know if I know this. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm a bad parent. Did I not teach you about Luther Vandross?
Actually, that is kind of selfish to be like, oh, I'm in charge of everything that you know. It's like life teaches me things.
No, but it's like you feel a responsibility of like, oh, did I open the world of Earth, Wind, and Fire to you? How bad if I didn't?
I guess. You always hit me with this. I should have taught you how to do this. I should have taught you how to do that. And I'm like, I know how to do some of this stuff.
Well, clearly stain removal is not one of them.
This stain is hard to remove. I have removed so many stains. Okay. I like to wear white, and I'm a messy person. I know how to remove most stains. This stain is a stubborn little guy.
I'm going to send you some Instagram hacks that I have found.
I've done baking soda.
Has to do with baking soda.
I know. I've done, you put a little water in baking soda and you let it set for a little while and then you wash it. I've done that. I've bought products to do it. The stain is supposed to be here. It's part of the shirt now.
Okay.
It's part of the distress level. You have taught me a lot of things. But for some reason, you like to focus on like, did I never teach you how to do that? And I'm like, it's relax.
So one day, can I teach you how to properly sew on a button?
Do you even know how to properly sew on a button?
Yes. I took 4-H sewing classes. I got blue ribbons for sewing growing up.
When was that? Growing up?
Yeah, like 6th grade to probably 10th grade. I would do 4-H. So that used to be, we grew up in Utah, and you would like people who would raise cattle, grow vegetables, grow flowers, bake pies. Like they had all of these different categories that you would learn how to do as a kid. And then you would enter your things, like you could enter livestock, you could enter your horse, you could enter a baking assignment. And I entered sewing things and I got blue ribbons.
Well, I do need to sew some pants back together because I keep splitting them. I haven't split any recently, but
all right, so we'll put that on our to-do list. That'll be our to-do list, is just a quick little sewing class.
okay. Yeah, I really feel like we nailed it with the hero. You know what? Maybe we'll just cut this. We'll just cut this whole segment. We'll just pretend like we just talked about. I went first, and we just talked about it.
Okay, so I think what we've learned is today, I'm just wrapping up our episode. We've learned that I'm going to quit badgering you about things. I'm not going to be such a badger. I'm going to listen to you better.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is listening.
Right,
and
listening.
I'll also say there's a failure to listen on my part to hear that you were trying to take care of me.
Right. Is the intent?
Yes.
Is pure.
Yes, I think we could do better at listening to each other.
Okay, great. And
it's hilarious because we have a podcast where we're asking other people to listen to us.
That's the whole beauty of the process.
Hey, we don't need to listen to each other. We're giving our stuff for other people to listen to. We don't have to do it.
No, I think it's helpful for us to learn how to listen to each other. I think it's a beautiful full circle thing.
I think that's one of the most important things.
Yes. Second, heroes are important. Being a good role model is important. Having good etiquette is very important. And I'm glad that you feel like you have been raised, and I do think I've raised you to have good etiquette, but that was something we prioritized. Like in your preteen years, like 12 to 15, I was on you about etiquette, and I'm very proud of how you are well behaved in public and social situations.
I think it's also
you've been in a lot of
high adults. Yeah, you had me around a lot of adults and stuff when I was very young and very malleable. So I just learned how I just watch everybody and I'd be like, okay, this is how it seems that you have to carry yourself to be respectful and all that kind of stuff, which I really appreciate because that's helped later on in life.
Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to learn.
You're my hero.
Oh, stop it. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
I said it with a little science model, but I do mean it.
Well, don't make me cry.
Hey, that's my second Mother's Day gift.
Well, I love you, honey. Thank you for calling me.
I love you. Thank you for talking. We'll talk more.
Call your mom.
I'll just call you again. Make sure you call your mom. Everybody out there, call your mom.